about to play the first official Bran 182 show ever.
I couldn't be more excited. It's like the first time I went to the big city, and my little sister Kate brought me all of these beautiful chocolates that she had one of her friends make, and we just stayed in and had such a good night watching movies and eating popcorn and chocolate. It was like the most beautiful thing that I've ever experienced, kind of like that.
You should just start. Are you guys ready? Alright, we're not ready, never mind.
They've been described as the biggest loss of music since Kenny Loggins, not a Blink-182 cover band, and a less emo Taking Back Sunday with more bass. Bran 182 was a band about drinking.
Drinking, alright? So put this one on the album, but there won't be a live version of the song on the album, so fucking forget it, yo!
The theme of alcohol united this group of musicians and seemed to have intoxicated their audience as well, many of who attended every single concert with a strange, unblinking focus. Watching this footage, I began to question why the hypnotized audience for a band whose sole desire was to drink itself into obscurity. Why was there no first song, yet a second first song? Why was there never a live version? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that they were not just a band about drinking, nor were they just a band about being a band about drinking, but a band about thinking.
Attention, objective observer. Me and my friends are a champion. Attention, objective observer. None of you can be objective. I'm moving the mouse with the cursor. Directional values are none. Attention, objective observer. You are objectively drunk.
Through screaming, guitars, and drums, what was being embedded in the minds of the audience were not simply messages about being drunk, but messages about everyone being drunk all the time. Then I began to put the pieces together. Bran, a cereal. 182. 1 plus 8 plus 2 equals 11. 182 over 11 equals 16.5. 16.5 is the highest acceptable age of Hot Topic consumer. What do these ingredients make when combined? The answer was clear. World domination. I knew to uncork the secret flask, I would have to find the scattered band members and interrogate them. Through investigative online journalism, I deducted that the band resided in Santa Cruz, California, a town riddled with drugs, murder, poverty, and a boardwalk. To think we were going there willingly would be insane. But if the band was there, then there was where we must go. To begin, I started at the last known location of the band, Hot Topic.
Any of Bran 182?
Yeah, they played here months ago. But
Months ago. Damn, they're not still here by any chance.
They weren't there. It seemed as if within the last few months, possibly within a few hours of the performance, the band had left the store completely. By guessing phone numbers, our first contact was made through one of the original two members of Bran, Peter Hunter. He informed us that some bros inhabited the residence, but there was no turning back.
I remember I was hanging out playing PlayStation 3 in Kip, who would become the bassist of Bran 182, or rather Bran's, room, and Grant came in, and he was like, hey, I want to write a rock opera for my core project, but I know nothing about music. And I was like, well, I play guitar, so I'd be down, and then Kip plays bass, he'd probably be down, and he was.
Unfortunately for original Bran, their dream of being reviewed by Pitchfork Media never escaped the hallowed walls of Porter Dining Hall. This sent them into a brutal alcohol-filled depression, out of which spawned Bran 182.
Tell me, do you still keep in contact with any of the rest of the band?
No. What? Why would you ask me that? Why would you?
Well, I'm trying to do this
No.
documentary.
No. Why would you come into my house and then start with like something as informal as that and just move on to that? Like,
Well,
you obviously fucking know. You're making a fucking documentary. You obviously fucking know.
Somewhat reluctantly, he gave us the phone number of Bran 182's other guitarist, Jordan Schmidt.
When did you start noticing that Bran 182 was no longer a band merely about drinking?
After we played a show in Santa Barbara. Like, it seemed like the ideal conditions for a band about drinking. It was a party with like 300 people there. There were a few kegs. There's someone so drunk he was actually dancing around on a keg. Once we started playing, I just realized just how much they hated us. Just hated us so much. And we were singing about drinking while they were drinking at a party. At that point, it occurs to me, like, you know what, maybe Bran 182 isn't a band about drinking.
Though Peter may have been discouraged, at least one fan had an altogether different opinion of the show.
Let's go to Santa Barbara. That was a good show. There were like 400 people there or something. It was like huge. I heard that Prince was there, but I didn't see him because there were so many people.
Did you perhaps decide to leave the band to take care of your daughter?
I didn't know you knew about I would have liked to. I would have loved to go and take care. I actually have a picture of my daughter here. Hold on. I would have loved to have left Bran to take care of her, but her mother doesn't.
We were forced to cut the interview short when my crew informed me that beer pong had started upstairs. We barely escaped to the car with our lives.
We're lucky we made it out of there. We are lucky we made it out of there. I'll put it that way.
While absent-mindedly complaining about traffic at an intersection, I felt myself slip into a delirious dream-like haze, suddenly feeling blacked out, as if I was talking to the Team Rocket ghost of Bran 182 bassist Kip Rat.
Described as the bass player for Bran 182. How does that make you feel?
Well, I play bass.
Explain that in the form of a question.
I play the rhythm of the light. It feels really good.
Frank Collins? My mouth whiskers? Where the fuck is my left whisker?
I noticed you lost your left whiskers.
I don't know where it is.
And you probably smiled too hard in some room.
It's true. It's probably true.
When I came to, I remembered that we were en route to meet Bran 182's #1 fan, or so he claimed.
This paper from our dorm freshman year. Grant, you died, I cried, and kept on getting up, a little slower and a lot more deadly.
This story represents the idea of Bran 182. I didn't have it specifically for them, but I wear it sometimes when I listen to Bran 182. This whiskey has a strong association with Whiskey River. I actually got it for them after they recorded it. This drumstick is Ian's from a show, I believe. This one was from the Isla Vista show in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, yeah, I drove down to see it. Pretty good, huh?
That was, yes.
This is like really, really drunk. This is like really, really drunk again. This is the Hot Topic edition.
Oh,
It's limited. They were only giving it away at the Hot Topic show. The release show. Yeah, for this CD.
And
they
what
had both of them there.
And what is different about this CD than the other CDs?
A lot. It's from Hot Topic, the Hot Topic edition.
But is there like a different track list or?
I mean, all the tracks are kind of the same.
Has it been hard for you living without Bran 182 since they broke up?
I feel like I don't have as much reason to drink anymore. You know, like, Now I can only listen to Bran 182 on MySpace and then drink then, whereas other times I drink in public at the show with a lot of other people and get really, really drunk.
Yes.
And now there's just, I mean, that's what I was doing before you got here.
I noticed you were drinking a Keystone.
Yeah,
How is that?
drunk.
The fetishistic collection of relic objects in his hollow pull from the can seemed to only emphasize the metaphor that he was drinking to fill the void about thinking about drinking.
Oh yeah, I actually hired this guy that looks like Grant to hang out sometimes.
Holy
I brought him.
shit.
I brought him over here just for
Wait.
today for you guys.
What up?
Are you saying that you aren't Grant Garland?
I've heard about the guy. Apparently I look a lot like him.
Want something to drink?
Yeah, thanks, man.
I really like the band. He gives me like some sort of feeling like they're still around, and plus, I lived with Grant when he first came up with the idea for Bran 182, and there's a lot of relapse when you go living with Grant and then you don't live with Grant anymore, and it's nice to have some sort of closure with him here.
On my front, it's a really easy job. It's really one of the best things I've ever had is employment. So.
Until this moment, I hadn't the slightest clue what a demented, obsessive world we had stepped into. Myself and the crew were walking on eggshells, but we dare not leave soon.
But
I have an obligation to uphold when I go to a Bran 182 show, saying that I'm a number one fan, and talking to people in the audience saying I'm the number one fan. I can say I'm drunker than you. I am having a more drunk, more party time than you. You're gonna be drinking. Yeah, alcohol's pretty good. But I think ever since the beginning and even now, my song today I think is the first history. Started it, and I think it really captures the idea of what Bran 182 is supposed to be, what it represents, what we're supposed to feel. Like paints a picture, like a soundscape or something.
At some point, we were back on the street again. With much difficulty and a bribe of 1 order of fries, we were able to set up a meeting with Jordan at a local diner. The problem was he refused to be filmed, so we were forced to use a hidden camera.
Is that a camera?
No, it's not.
Well,
I
see a little like red light.
No, you don't. No, there's nothing there.
Huh.
Tell me about Bran 182 at its best moments.
Honestly, I was so drunk the whole time. I don't even remember most of it. So it's hard to really like judge something that was so ephemeral and so instant. I used to drink a couple times a month. When I joined the band, we were drinking like 3 times a week. And drinking on stage, drinking while we were recording, drinking when we were writing. The only subversion is pure and utter nihilism. It is a statement of nothingness about nothingness. Drinking, thinking about drinking, and drinking about thinking about drinking. Looping logic, it can go any which way. And that's why it was just utter fucking chaos. The band was about drinking, so it openly invited everything that any band hates. A disrespectful, rowdy audience. However, it works to our advantage because everyone was drunk at our shows, and if we fucked up, they just loved us that much more.
Sorry, can you look into the camera when you say that? Wait, not camera.
That's not chill. It's over. It's over, man.
Through no fault of mine, Jordan decided to leave. It was clear that he was too drunk to continue the interview. The mystery only widened as we learned that the band's bassist, Kip Pratt, had mysteriously disappeared. Some said that he went on a study abroad program, but as we all know, if you rearrange the letters of study abroad, you get stab your dad. The questions kept on multiplying. The answers were nowhere to be found. All seemed hopeless until we received a phone call from someone claiming to be the ex-drummer of Bran 182, Ian Thornburg. A man so dedicated to the principle of drunkenness that he openly endorsed making mistakes.
It was perfect. We fucked up at this show more than any other show. And that's exactly what we want. Bran 182 is not a band about precision. It is a band about drinking.
After a short drive through a shady neighborhood, we arrived at the park. The place was swarming with violent, unruly creatures. Was this going to be a trap? Why did you choose this particular location to shoot this interview?
I like ducks. Well, if you're talking about politics, or involved with politics, and also drunk, then politics and drinking are related.
Yes, so you're saying that Bran 182 is both intricately tied to drinking and politics.
Absolutely.
What happened to Grant Golland after the last show? I've heard that he disappeared, but all of the other band members have declined to state exactly what has happened.
See, I don't think anyone really knows what happens with Grant Golland, whether or not they know where he is, or what he is. No one really even knows who Grant Golland is. Bran 182 collapsed and really just kind of passed out and possibly got alcohol poisoning.
Suddenly, I noticed suspicious strangers watching us from across the lake. My instinct was right. It was a setup. Once again, we barely escaped with our lives. Running back to the car, I slipped on some mud and fell onto the pavement, nearly breaking my arm. I did my best to drive onwards, but became dizzy and had to pull over.
Oh, you ever get that lightheaded thing where you... Oh.
My adrenaline kicked back in when we noticed that the white van had started to follow us.
Shit, he is definitely following us. We need to lose him as soon as possible. We need to get out of here.
It was hard for us to lose him given all the stop signs, but eventually we escaped.
That was a close one. That was a close one.
It felt good to be safe, but even after so many close calls, we were still no closer to discovering the true meaning of Bran 182. Then, a cinematic miracle happened.
Get the camera ready. Get the gear ready. Are you Grant Golland? What? What? Sir, what are you talking about? Sir, what can you tell me about the band Bran 182? What are your plans for global takeover?
He was completely without reason. I began wondering if the placement of the words and timing's all that matters when everyone's concerned with their own drinking. Maybe I was simply waiting for the purpose to justify the pattern. Maybe they were simply a band about drinking. Even if they were hell-bent on world domination, they were simply too drunk. Could a band about drinking realistically expect their fans to even remember the show? No. A band about drinking could only get about as far as...
Hot topic! Alright, so the Hot Topic people are telling me we have time for one more song. I just want to say, it's been great to be in Bran 182. It's been really fun. This is not the live version. There will never be a live version, but it's important to know that by the time that Pitchfork Media finds out about the existence of this band, we will no longer exist. This is the first song we ever wrote as a band. This song is about them. It's called Favorite Song. This is my favorite song.
The band is most certainly over now, that much I am sure of. But something about seeing a grown man sitting in a car parked in front of a church with the windows up, chugging a handle of warm gin, made me believe that somewhere out there, the spirit of Bran 182 is alive and drinking, and getting like really, really drunk in the process. So now, let us raise our glasses to what was Bran 182 as we knock him back, knock him back, knock him back.